order that we may bear fruit for God. So he's saying that we belong to Jesus so we may bear fruit for God. But then in verse 18, Paul doesn't have the ability to bear fruit for God. Can you explain that to me?
Just Christian conversations online. You've probably dealt with something like this, okay? One Christian quotes Paul and says, see, we're justified by faith. Another Christian quotes Paul and says, see, obedience still matters. Then they go at it, right? Then someone comes along, jumps in and quotes James and says, faith without works is dead, so Paul must be wrong, right? Before long, Paul doesn't feel pastoral anymore. He feels like ammunition. When we read Paul, as if he's doing abstract theology instead of pastoral problem solving, we get ourselves into some trouble. Here's what you have to remember. Paul is always responding to something. And if you don't know what he's responding to, his words can feel confusing, maybe even contradictory. And that actually leads to the second issue, okay? Are you ready? A lot of us tend to read individual verses instead of fully formed viewpoints. A lot of us tend to read individual verses instead of fully formed viewpoints, establishing and retreading particular lines of thought, and then retreading them again, and then retreading them again. And then what do? Here we come, and we often pull a single verse out of a paragraph or a chapter or a letter, and then we ask that verse to answer questions that Paul was never trying to answer.